What if 10 simple words could change the entire world? God gave humanity something more powerful than any army, any empire, any weapon. He gave us his law. Before the 10 commandments, the world was drowning in confusion, idol worship, and injustice. Humanity had forgotten how to live, and so God descended on a mountain of fire and thunder. Moses, a man who once lived in a palace but now walked barefoot in the desert, had been chosen, not because he was perfect, but because he was willing to listen. Then came the fire, a bush that burned but was never destroyed, and from within it, the voice of God called, "Moses, take off your sandals. The ground you stand on is holy." God sent Moses to free his people from 400 years of slavery in Egypt, and after plagues, miracles, and the parting of the sea, they were finally free. But freedom needed a foundation. Then God descended upon Mount Sinai in fire. The mountain shook, thunder rolled, lightning split the sky, and in that terrifying silence that followed, God spoke, "You shall have no other gods before me." The first commandment was the foundation of all others. There is only one God and the creator of everything. Nothing else deserves your ultimate loyalty. Not wealth, not power, not pleasure. You shall not make for yourself an idol. God is too great, too infinite to be captured in stone, gold, or any human-made image. Worshipping what our own hands create traps us. It shrinks our vision of God to the size of our imagination. You shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God. Words carry power. God's name is not a tool for manipulation or a curse word or a hollow promise. To speak his name is to stand before all of heaven. Use it with reverence. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Even God rested on the seventh day. He built rest into creation itself. This commandment wasn't a restriction, it was a gift. Rest is not laziness. It is sacred. It is holy. It is necessary. Honor your father and your mother. This is the first commandment with a promise that things will go well for you and you will live long. Family is the first community God gave us. How we treat our parents reflects how we treat authority, love, and life itself. You shall not murder. Human life is not ours to take. It belongs to God who gave it. Every person is made in God's image. This commandment protects the most basic gift of all, the gift of existence. You shall not commit adultery. Marriage is not just a human agreement. It is a covenant made before God. Faithfulness in marriage reflects the faithfulness of God to his people. When we break this covenant, we break more than a relationship. We break trust itself. You shall not steal. Taking what belongs to another is not just a crime. It is a declaration that you don't trust God to provide for you. God sees everything, and he promises to give to those who trust him. You never need to take what isn't yours. You shall not give false testimony against your neighbor. A lie about an innocent person can destroy a life. Entire communities collapse when truth is sacrificed for personal gain. God is truth itself, and those who love him must love truth too. You shall not covet. This is the commandment that lives in the heart, where no human law can reach. Covetousness is the root of every other sin. It begins with a glance, then a desire, then a decision. God says, "Trust that what I have given you is enough." For 40 days and 40 nights, Moses was on the mountain with God, and God wrote his commandments with his own finger, on stone. Not paper, not ink, stone. These words were meant to last forever. But when Moses descended and saw what the people had done, worship of an idol while God was still speaking, his grief became fury. The tablets shattered. The covenant was broken before it had even begun, and the consequences were devastating. But God, in his infinite mercy, called Moses back. He gave new tablets. He rewrote his commandments. This is who God is. Not a God who abandons when we fail, but a God who extends grace again and again. The 10 Commandments are divided into two groups. The first 4 teach us how to love God with all our heart, soul, and mind. The last 6 teach us how to love our neighbor. Jesus himself said, "All of God's law hangs on these 2 things." Many people see the 10 Commandments as restrictions. But they were never meant to imprison. They were meant to protect. A river needs banks to flow powerfully. Remove the banks, and it becomes a swamp. God's law gives us banks to live powerfully. Jesus said, "Do not think I have come to abolish the law. I came to fulfill it." He didn't erase the 10 commandments. He lived them perfectly so that through him we could too. The law points us to our need for a Savior. These 10 laws written by God were given in love, from putting him first to protecting the lives, hearts, and homes of our neighbors. The 10 commandments were never about perfection. They were about direction. They point to a God who loves us enough to tell us the truth. They point to a Savior who fulfilled what we could not. Follow them not out of fear, but because of love, and you will find that obeying God is the greatest freedom you will ever know. We hope this Bible story strengthened your faith. Feel free to subscribe and share this message with someone who might find value in it today. Until next time, God bless you, and remember, His word never returns empty.